you heard of Anchor? Well, if you have not heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. So let's get started today. Download the app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. It's free, it's simple, and it's convenient. You can distribute your podcast from your phone or your computer. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So let's get started. You can also download your podcast to various podcast channels like Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. So let's get started today. Download the app, the Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm and get started. Now stay tuned for Me Time Motivation. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to another episode of Me Time Motivation. It's your host, Tasha Ryder. I hope all is well. My prayers and blessings are being sent out to you. And with that being said, as with all things, we do want to take some time to say thank you to all the heroes across the land for all the things that you all do and for all the sacrifices that you're making for your families each and every day. With that being said, we're going to jump right into this episode. Today's episode is going to be about discipline. And I wanted to talk about this episode for many reasons. When you think about faith, family, and wellness, you want to know that all things that you're celebrating and doing and or contemplating in your life are surrounded by being disciplined. It's another way to say being centered, but I like the word discipline because the question that resounds in my ears is, do you have the discipline that it takes to get the job and the task that you may have to do each and every day done? Is it completed? Is it done? And in order to do that, there has to be something called consistency in your life, but also in order to be consistent, I believe you have to have the discipline that meets and marries consistency. So let's get started. So today we're talking about discipline, and I love this word. It's rooted so vigorously inside of the person that I am, and it started all with my childhood. I did not like the word discipline as a child because I heard it so much. So that started out with my morning routine where I would hear my great old dad say, let's get up, let's get the day going. Do you have things to do? And at 6 a.m., I don't know, most people may not, at first, especially at that early age, love the word get up, wake up at 6 a.m., even though you have to be at school at 8 a.m. So the discipline that I learned over those primary elementary grade years was the ability to wake up meant that you didn't have to wake up after the fact. You could wake up now and have more time to get yourself situated. You can have more time to be centered, more time to get your bearings together, figure out what you're going to wear for the day, how cute you're going to be, make sure you have your gym clothes or your physical education clothes and what your schedule was for the day and so on and so forth. So there left more time in my mind as to what your preparation for the day would be. And so that took discipline. And so, yes, I became immediately excited once I met the connection of what that actually means and why. I became excited about the word discipline because it meant that I could get it done. And I considered those things wins. So being able to exit my family home at a certain time, make it to school by a certain time, do what you needed to do. You're not rushing to get to class in the morning. You're already there. You have time to congregate with your friends and do the things that you need to do all before the bell rang, and feel that you've reconnected and rejuvenated all those happy bubbles in your head as a small child. And in high school, because I mastered that in grade school, elementary school, primary grade school, Then by the time high school arrived, my freshman year, I was just on point. I have to say, I was never tardy. And so I got perfect attendance in elementary school because I really was disciplined to understand the importance of getting it done, getting things done. And so that is really what I focused on. And it became something that was very, very easy, like extremely easy for me to do, and I didn't miss a beat. And that helped me when I, of course, would join academic teams or sports teams throughout the course of my younger life, because then I had the discipline, and the grind is what you hear people talk about now in sports and business, because there is something that you have to have each and every day. It does not matter if you're tired, if you're physically experiencing joint pain, or you are just weary from having no sleep, or you've been up all night producing the most phenomenal presentation of your whole career. None of that mattered because you're still on point, because you have the discipline to get it done. And if you're a person that does this with ease, please send me a message or something that you can express in the comments on YouTube, because this will be posted to YouTube as well. But just let me know, what steps have you taken during the courses of your life, as a young adult, in your here and now, or in your childhood, that bring back great memories for you, or disciplines that you've had during the course of your career that are really easy for you to do. And I would love to hear that. And so in my adult life, fast forward beyond college and undergrad and graduate school, what really was important to me was to just be on point. You would hear that years ago, a lot of people saying, "Are you on point? Are you on point?" And so I love the fact that not just was I a list person, a task person after college, after undergrad, which helped me in my corporate America life, and it helped me in my career because I learned about lists and tasks and syllabus and syllabi in undergrad. It just really made you have to be disciplined. Some people call it grinding, some others may call it and reference that as going hard, go get it, go make it happen. So whatever that phrase is that resonates with you most during this segment, you understand where I'm coming from. And so I really appreciated that I did have it. Now, for those people that are very disciplined in life, the flip side of that is you're conscious and overly aware when other people lack discipline in their lives. And so I'm just going to ask you to take a lot of deep, deep breaths here as you think about that, because oftentimes, because we're so disciplined, we see other people and we're going, "What in the world is going on?" And you're like, "Really? What just happened? What is happening?" And so that trickles over to when you're in a leadership role. You really sit and you're looking at the people that now report to you as direct reports, or people in other departments, and you're just seeing underperformance, people that aren't disciplined or lack the discipline, and they're just not where you would like them to be, and perhaps they may not be where they need to be. But this too shall pass, because at some point, the great news, even in that scenario, is when people report to you, because you're the leader in the room, people will step up to do what it is that they need to do, because they respect you, because they trust your, and they find value in you. So not only do they trust you, trust your judgment, they find value in you, which I think is quintessential to success, is a person finding value in you that reports to you. And so I love the ability for people to grow. And I believe that one of the things that you need primarily in order to grow is discipline. The second thing would be consistency. And a lot of education would be the third thing. And then the fourth thing would be building relationships. And some people may consider that also networking. I kind of separate networking and relationships because I don't believe it is the same thing all the time. There's different variations in and variables in life that can justify a relationship builder versus a networker. Kind of like this, let me just give a brief example. Let's say you had a conference to go to and you're really networking the room. So I was in a was in Florida. I knew many people out of the hundreds of thousands of people that would be here in this particular conference in this venue, but I was networking because I'm interested in not just building a relationship or a rapport with someone, but I'm actually networking. We're exchanging business cards. We're, probably going to hook up for dinner and discuss, apples and oranges and bananas and tangerines, if you will, in a networking situation. But when you're building a relationship with someone for various reasons, I believe there's more work that goes into that versus just a networking event. I kind of know you. I know, for example, that you may have a person that you're partnered with that does human resources. I own a business. At some point, I may tag you because you may be my hookup for finding great new talent, but we don't really have a relationship. But we do send each other business from time to time. So I believe that we have a great rapport, but not necessarily that we've built this great relationship. Because I think that great relationships take time to build, and you're constantly expounding and working, and there's a lot of intertwining of ideas and different settings where you're going to build something that is long term, hopefully everlasting, and that person will not just be a go to, but actually someone in your toolkit that you'll utilize either in business or for personal reasons or in life. So that's a little bit of an example when I think about networking and relationships. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments if you're listening by way of a YouTube video or if you're listening by way of a podcast. I will definitely put the link to leave a message. And so, with that being said, I hope that this episode finds you well and on today, and that you really start contemplating things that work well and have worked well for you. And maybe you'll have to find yourself going back to that or creating a new toolkit for things that you'll be disciplined about in the near future, very, hopefully in the very near future, that you're going to be disciplined about. And is it a class? Is it a class on discipline? I would say sign me up. I love learning. And so I'm always interested in finding new ways to become better disciplined. And just because I think I have something down pat doesn't mean that I'm not willing to rethink it. And I love people that are disciplined in my circle. It makes life easier because they think oftentimes just as fast as you do or even faster. And so I love those kinds of relationships. And so, with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. But until next time, we'll talk soon. And thanks so much for tuning in to Me Time Motivation.